Welcome to Prepper Nation. I'm John, of course, coming to you from the billion-dollar bunker, although you're going to see the background change dramatically within the week because of inflation and stuff like this. It's tax season. Folks, I ain't getting off on a tangent here. Thank you very much for being here, but I've been busy. There hadn't been a lot of content hitting. Again, it's tax season, which is good for some, for old John here at the Ponderosa, not so much. And also, it's yard work season. So there's just other stuff been popping up that I haven't been able to sit down and actually make this video, but I've been wanting to ever since this past Sunday, Easter. So your beliefs have been canceled. I got a text from Backwoods. I'd seen it like an hour before, but I didn't really understand what was going on. But then he sent a link. I think it was from X. And then my wife actually came to me and mentioned it and said, "Have you seen this?" And so I went and I checked it out. And of course, the White House, for those that don't know, this past Sunday, they deemed Easter Sunday as the day of the visible, would be the best way to put it, without upsetting and getting into anyone's feelings or anything like that. And like a lot of you out there in internet land, I felt the same way. When I first saw this and I dug into it and I saw what was going on, I felt disgusted by it. It was low even for the Biden administration. I felt anger. I was mad at first, and my blood was boiling. And it took a few minutes. It took a few minutes to process it, because you just can't believe that our society has fallen that far down. Y'all know what I'm saying. Those that were around during the Billy Graham era to now, and you see this degradation, good Lord, of society. You see society degrading to the point where we are now, and you understand why. A lot of people can put that together, that it's definitely connected. So I thought about it for a few minutes, and I said, you know what? That's exactly what these people want. That's why it's trending on social media. That's why it's all over mainstream media. They want you to be disgusted. They want us to be filled with anger on Easter. They want our blood boiling, right? They want this nonsense legitimized. You know what I mean? So let me give it to you like this. If you're in a cafeteria full of people back in high school, that used to be the place. Everybody ate lunch together and everybody was doing their own thing. If you're one of these weird oddball people and you feel a certain way, and you're surrounded by, again, cafeteria full 800-900 people or whatever, and you feel in a certain way, nobody cares. Everybody's doing their own thing. And by the White House doing this and putting it in front of everybody, and it trending on social media and mainstream media going back and forth, what this does is it takes this weirdo with a nonsensical idea, and it puts them on top of a cafeteria table. Now a lot of people are paying attention. It gives them a platform. It legitimizes this. And the more people out there who are disgusted and angry by this and talking about it on social media, the more of a platform these individuals get. And I thought about it, and I said, my beliefs are my beliefs, and they're uncancelable. Everybody is entitled to believe whatever they want to. I've always said that here on the channel. I have a great respect for believers and non-believers. I pray that one day the non-believers get there, but that's not my business. That's between the creator and that individual. It's a personal thing. So my beliefs, what I believe, they're uncancelable. The White House can say whatever they want to. Mainstream media can say whatever they want to. Celebrities can say or try and delegitimize my beliefs. They're still my beliefs. Let me ask you this, nation. Would you observe a meatless Monday? If the White House came out and they said, you know what, it would be a clever idea if on Mondays we had meatless Monday, would you just, line up like a lemming and observe that every week? Or would you say, no, forget the White House. I'm just going to eat, I'm going to still be grilling out on Monday, son. It's summertime. What are you talking about? What about no gas November? Let's not use any gas for the entire month of November, according to the White House or the talking heads on your TV. Are you going to, are you going to acknowledge that? or are you just going to go on about your daily life? You understand what I'm trying to say? These people actually have little power over us when you get right down to it. Yeah, they can put boots on the ground and they can move troops around and they can threaten you on TV, but especially our thoughts and our emotions and our beliefs. These people, meaning the White House and the talking heads on TV, they have very little influence over what you think, what you believe, how you feel inside, or at least they should. So stop feeding into it. I really, again, I wanted to address this probably Monday morning, but I was super busy. Break the propaganda spell. So here's what I mean by this, okay? Again, I went to mainstream media because I was mad. I was like, how can they do this on Easter, right? For like 5 minutes. And then I was like, I understand what's going on. You go to CNN, and CNN is beating the drum. We need to celebrate the oppressed. We need to make sure that the minorities, in terms of what they believe and think, they need to be seen and heard on this day. This is a great thing, right? Then you spin over to Fox News. And Fox is over there like, I can't believe they're doing this. Look at what they are doing. They're like taking your head and forcing you to try and look, to make you angry, right? And I'm just sitting over here by this point, and I'm thinking, they did nothing actually. They can name this day whatever they want to. This can be Oompa Loompa Day. This can be National Slush Puppy Day. I love slush puppies. But look, it's Easter. It's Easter to me, and it's always going to be Easter to me, and I don't care really what the White House says, no matter who the president happens to be. They can deem the day whatever they want to, but it doesn't actually do anything unless you buy into it. If you're on board with it and you're taking your marching orders from the White House, okay, you got problems. But most of us are not taking marching orders from the White House, especially this White House, to be honest with you. Again, only if I feed into it. Let me explain to you the irony here. Okay, this is the day of the visible we're talking about back on Sunday, right? So I went over to X, and sure enough, it was the number one trend. Again, Backwoods had sent it to me. That's the first place I actually saw it, but I didn't click it immediately. Miss Nation said something. I said, okay, this stuff's spreading everywhere, son. So I went over to X, and it was the number one trend. And I went over to the right-hand side of that trend, and I clicked the little bitty button, and I put, this is harmful or spammy or something like that. And I clicked it, and it went away. Within the span of a half a second, this trend was invisible. That's the irony of it. You know what I mean? They put stuff in front of you for sure, but we still have the power to look away. We still have the power to click off and go somewhere else. And if you're not doing that, you're allowing these people to get into your mind, get into your feelings, right? And get you upset for no reason because it's so easy to click off. Again, half second, I clicked off. I didn't see anything else about it for the entire day. And I enjoyed my day. I enjoyed Easter with the family. There are too many actual important problems here in the United States of America, in my opinion. What is this tomfoolery that we're getting from the White House? Again, it's to be expected. I can't believe they went this low. Not even Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but at the same time, I'm not really shocked. You know what I mean? I was shocked for a couple of minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. They've kind of been doing this the entire time. And of course, as we always discuss, a lot of people that are on YouTube hit record, all these low rent fear merchants on YouTube click record, and they're on here and I don't know if they know they're doing it or not because they're upset. They're broadcasting to their fan bases or viewers or whatever. I don't know what you would call them on YouTube. Y'all let me know in the comments, please. But the people that are subscribed to them, they're blasting it out on YouTube, and it just throws more and more gasoline on the fire, right? And it just makes these people and their loco ideas, the people at the White House, it just gives them more and more relevancy, and they need to be less relevant because they've proven that the ideas they have by and large are nonsense, right? Nonsense. If you can't make it, I heard this expression the other day, DEI. What does DEI stand for? I heard this expression the other day, didn't earn it. I like it. I think it's pretty clever. United States 2024. If you can't stand on your own 2 feet and you can't make it through hard work, grit, and determination, it ain't nobody else's fault, son. Yeah, life is unfair. It's unfair, but not just to this group. It's unfair to everybody at some point or another. I'm sure I've been passed up for jobs, at one point or another that I was qualified for because I didn't look a certain way. Or maybe I said son too much and they're like, we ain't putting up with this, son. Whatever the case may be. But in 2024, you can literally stand on your own 2 feet, no matter what you look like, no matter what you believe, or you can go sit in the corner and you can let the crocodile tears well up and you can blame everybody else for your shortcomings. And I'm choosing not to be that person. And I'm choosing not to feed into the lunacy that's coming out of the corner. You know what I mean? I would still like to think, even in 2024, most of the people in the United States of America still believe in earning it, still believe in doing it the hard way. Sometimes you got to do it the hard way to get ahead. It's just what it is. But at the end of the day, let me say this, because again, who's upset on Easter about this more than anybody else? Christians, right? You either have that inner joy or you don't. You Christians know what I'm talking about, right? If you don't have that inner joy, seek it out. Seek it out. Try and find it, because it's very, very important. And if you do have that inner joy, understand these people can't take it from you. News agencies, legacy media, social media, they can't take it from you. The White House spokesperson or whoever crafted this masterpiece of a memo that went out. A couple of days later, Joe Biden said, I never said that. I never put my name beside that. And literally on the memo, it says, I, Joe Biden, declare today, the day of visibility. And he signed his name to it. So to me, I'm not upset at them trying to rebrand the day. It's still Easter to me. I'm more worried about having a president who I don't believe is in charge, because somebody wrote that memo, somebody signed his name to it, and to hear him tell it, obviously has no idea that it even happened. But we know why it's happening. But listen, at the end of the day, I hope and pray that you folks out there are hearing this message today and that you're really listening to it. There are certain things the government can take from you. Again, tax time just got taken advantage of. Joe Biden looked into that camera when he was running for president. He said, your taxes will not increase one red penny. Well, that was a bald-faced lie. But I'm not going to rant on taxes. I promised myself I wouldn't. But there's certain things that they can take from you, right? They can chip away at the Constitution. The elected officials can sell you down the river. Not a fan anymore of the House Speaker, I got to be honest with you. But there's certain things that they cannot take from you. They cannot take your ability to independently think and vet information and look at it with a critical eye. The way you feel about things, they cannot take this away from you. They can try and shame you for it, and they will use propaganda to try and shame you for it, but they cannot take your feelings away from you. And the values that many of us were brought up with the same values, right? They cannot take that from us. And they certainly cannot take the way that you worship and choose to worship or not worship away from you. The government simply does not have the power to do it. It's been tried historically, and it doesn't work very well. People still get together and they still worship the way they choose to do it. So please, the message, whenever this post, probably going to be this afternoon. And again, I do apologize, been super busy, but the message is just have joy and just understand that you can worship and you can think and you can feel however you want to, right? And just because a stupid little silly memo comes from the White House doesn't mean that you need to take days or even years off of your life by walking around with the blood boiling. Don't give these people that kind of power over your joy, All right. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Take care and God bless.